It's that time. It's that time when we're all getting out our calendars and our new planners and setting goals. Well, I am asking you to set one very important goal. Do nothing. Do nothing till you hear from the divine. That's what I want to talk about in the month of January. Join me, Reverend Amani Malaika, at the Albuquerque Center for Spiritual Living. If you are in the Albuquerque area, that's what we'll be doing on Sundays, 4 p.m. in person. Otherwise, join me right here on YouTube or wherever you're watching this or listening to this. And let's just continue to welcome winter's invitation to pause and do nothing and wait and listen and be guided from this much quieter, grounded place.
Beloveds, I am Reverend Amani Malaika, and this is the Albuquerque Center for Spiritual Living, and I am very glad that you are here. If you are new to us, I just want to let you know that this is kind of a regular thing that we have grown into in this community as we have really centered spiritual practice. So you may be surprised to see yoga mats and yoga chairs and people laying down in the chairs, but this is really what we are about. Yes, I'm going to offer a message that I hope lands and gives you some things to chew on and think about, but spiritual living can't happen without spiritual practice. And so we really are a community that is centered in practice. And so we will do some version of practice every week. And so this week we will be sound bathing together. Next week we will be singing and chanting together, led by the amazing Fab Lab. And I think we're going to sing the week after that. But there will always be an opportunity to really come into the embodiment of your spiritual life. And that's what I want us to take with us today and all year in this happy 2025, that I am really focusing on the love and liberation available to every single one of us in 2025 because we practice. And I know it doesn't feel like love and liberation is like on the horizon, given where we are sitting and standing politically and all of the divisiveness and fear happening in the US at least, which is where we are. For those of you watching online, if you're somewhere else, I hope you're having a sweeter experience. But I want us to really know that even with all of the outer noise in the outer world, the solutions that we might be looking for in our life and our families and our personal experience of abundance, of whatever it is that feels out of sorts and out of alignment, begins with your practice. Because we're all practicing something, right? We're all practicing something. There are things that we give our time and attention to on a regular basis that we practice. Maybe we're practicing worry. Maybe we're practicing rage. Maybe we're practicing numbing out and distraction. But we're all practicing something. So the invitation in 2025 that I want to make is let's practice our spiritual practices for the purpose of love and liberation for all beings. Yes? Can we commit to that for 2025 or at least for the next 45 minutes or so? Yeah. All right. I want to share with you the reading and meditation from Howard Thurman that I'm basing our series on in January. And it is from his book, Meditations on the Heart. And this one is called The Outer Life and the Inward Sanctuary. I determined to live the outer life in the inward sanctuary. Often it is very hard for me to realize that I am one. The outer life seems utterly outer. It seems a part of a separate order. It is made up of the things I do, of my relationship of one kind or another with work or play, my job, the people, and the things. The standard by which the outer is judged tends to be an artificial standard, made up of that which is convenient, practical, and expedient. The inward sanctuary, however, is my sanctuary. It is the place where I keep my trust with all my meanings and my values. It is the quiet place where the ultimate issues of my life are determined. What I know of myself, my meaning, what I know of God and God's meaning, all of this and much more is made clear in my secret place. It seems strangely incongruous, often, to bring into my secret place the rasping, gritty noises of my outer life. Again, this may be merely for an alibi. But what I know is that in searching light of my inward sanctuary, all the faults, limitations, and evil of the outer world, they stand clearly revealed for what they are. I determine to live the outer life in the inward sanctuary. The outer life must find its meaning, the source of its strength in the inward sanctuary. As this is done, the gulf between the outer and inner will narrow, and my life will be increasingly whole and of one piece. So this is what we are going to be talking about for the month, because there's a lot in there, yeah? There's a lot in there, but I think the thing that I want you to most focus on today, and what we're going to practice today, is making contact with your inward sanctuary, with your inner life. Because in this place that is secret and quiet and uniquely yours, the value, the meaning, the wisdom that you might long for to make decisions, to decide what the next right step is in your life, all blossom and burst forward from this place. And the world that you and I share together right now is so noisy. It is so noisy, and it is so quite baffling to think that there is actually a place in your own being that is ever quiet, that is ever wise, that will always, without fail, hold you, no matter what the noise of the world or your life is doing. But this is why we practice. Because the noisier it gets out here, the more you need to go within in order to even understand who to be and how to be in the midst of all the crazy. Does anyone feel like, I am feeling a little bit lost and I don't know what to do given all of the outer circumstances of the world? Anybody having that experience? And if you look outside of yourself to find that answer, that direction, that instruction, you will find it. I mean, there's 82,000 books and websites and podcasts with the 17 steps to the XYZ, right? You will find leaders, and I'm air quoting very on purpose, willing to guide you into the great unknown. You can find kind of any answer you might like to find, and you can find the answers you don't want to find. But here's the problem. When you put your attention into the outer world, seeking solutions, looking into the chaos for order, you will fail to actually find what it is you are looking for. You will find more chaos. You will find more noise. You will find more rage. You will find more despair. You will find more suffering. You will find whatever is already happening out here. But one of the beautiful things that we discover in our spiritual lives is that we are co-creators of this life. Right? And when we recognize ourselves as appointed to this aliveness, this incredible aliveness, breath in our bodies, gift we've each been given, that we have been appointed to be part of the creation itself. You and I are not separate from creation, right? So you and I have an opportunity to very consciously and intentionally create and contribute beauty, love, peace, connection, sweetness, delight. All of those characteristics of divinity that are naturally, inherently within you will forever wait for you to discover them so that you can then become the expression of that. This is how the solutions you are longing for will arrive, is you will become the solution. The more that you come into contact with this inward sanctuary, this divine wisdom, the spark of the divine, there's so many names, that still small voice. However you hear it, feel it, sense it, know it, the more you come into contact with that, the more you get to narrow the gulf, as Howard Thurman said, between the outer life and the inward life. And the more that that gulf narrows, the missteps that you and I make, the messes that you and I make become less and less. And am I promising you a messy, free life? Absolutely not. But what I am saying to you is you become empowered. You reclaim your agency from all of the BS noise out here. You begin to untangle what is true from what is untrue, because you have this solid ground from which to stand and observe. You can look out there from this inward sanctuary place, from this solid place that is quiet and wise and loving and sweet. And you can look out at the chaos. You can listen to the noise from this place and see it for what it is. You no longer let the outer life become the boss of you. You become more and more and more powerful, full of the actual power that is available when you are consciously connected to your own divine nature, which is the greatest power in the universe. One of my favorite definitions of power I learned from Rev Angel Kyoto Williams, and she defined power as the expert use of your own energy. The expert use of your own energy. You have been alived by spirit itself. You have breath in your body. You are here by divine appointment, which means you have been animated with the energy of love itself. That is what is beating your heart. That is what is breathing your breath. Every bit of power you have ever needed is already happening in you. But we have been so confused by the misuse of power, power over, that we have lost touch with the greatest power there is in the universe, the love that has brought you to life. Your purpose on this planet is to simply be the expression of that which you have been designed to be. This very unique shape of aliveness that you are. And the more you become an expert in you, the more you spend time and attention giving to the inner life that is only your inner life. No one else can actually have the experience of your inner life, period. You get to become the expert in you. And because you do this, The greatest prize of this work of spiritual living isn't that your bank account's going to be fatter than it's ever been. Isn't that you're going to have like the sexiest thighs on the planet. Isn't that you're going to have the cutest lover of all time. It is actually that you will actually have the ongoing, ever available experience of being in love. In love. In it. Inside it. When Howard Thurman said, I determined to live my life from the inward sanctuary, we could translate that to say, I determined to live my life in love. That experience of in love that every love song ever written is trying to get to, the one place you can actually have it is in your own being. That is why we do this work. That is why we practice. The longing of our lives, of our hearts, of our souls, has one place it can actually be met. And it is within. Everything else grows from there. Every solution, every new experience you are hoping to have, every answer to how do I show up in the chaos and the crazy? How do I love my neighbor well when they put a Trump sign in their yard? All of those answers begin here in this inner sanctuary. So, someone gave me some feedback recently that I don't give basic instruction. Like, people want like basic, like just tell me what to do. And I was like, all right, I will work on it. I will try to be basic. Not my superpower, but I'm gonna try. So my very basic instruction of how to begin moving within and falling in love in your own inward sanctuary is a practice that I have been doing this winter that I'm calling cozying and quieting. Cozying and quieting. And if Mickey might help me remember, there's actually a Scandinavian practice that has a word that's similar, but cozying and quieting. So when you wake up in the morning, whether you do that naturally or with an alarm or whatever you do, I want you to cozy yourself. So you're gonna get under your blankets and like pull the blankets up to your chin and just like really get cozy. And if you're worried that you're gonna fall back asleep, sit up and then like shawl yourself in your blankets, okay? That's the cozying part. And then you are going to take 10 intentional breaths. I do this every day. 10 intentional breaths. And each inhale, you're going to let your in-breath guide you within. And you're just going to listen and look with your inner eye and notice what it is like in your inner world. And you're going to get distracted, even in just 10 breaths, you're going to get distracted. Trust me, doesn't mean you are failing at cozying and quieting. Every inhale is an invitation to come back again. And when you complete 10 breaths, you're going to say, thank you, I love you. And then begin your day. Yeah? Cozying and quieting. Daily practice. I invite you to it. So with that in mind, we're going to do a little cozying and quieting now. This sound bath, and I'm going to let Rodney and Jesse tell you more about it. But what I most want you to know from me is I want you to use this next half an hour or so where we're going to sound bath as an opportunity to hang out in your inner sanctuary. Like, get to know the landscape of your soul. Get to know what it's like to just completely dive into your own self and become more expert at you. Fall more in love with what you discover in there. And I know it's not always fun. We don't always discover juicy, lovely rainbow unicorn things when we go within. That's okay. Love that. Love that part. Love those thoughts. Deal?
As we bring ourselves fully present into this moment, into this space, we recognize Spirit, how very present Spirit is in this very room, in us, through us, as us. Spirit is here because we are here, because we have chosen to show up and take this sacred pause to remember that Spirit is always right where we are. And it's as simple as turning within and remembering, and just taking that time. So I just know that right now we just begin to let everything slough off, any stress or busyness of the day, put down all the pressures, and just allow ourselves to feel how we really feel, and to bring our whole selves present right here and right now. And to just remember the love that we are, the love that exists in that inward sanctuary. And that love is still the answer. Love is always the answer, even in a world that seems so crazy and chaotic and just all of the stuff, that at any moment in the midst of it, simply by returning to our breath, simply by returning to our heart, we can find the love that is there, the love that we are made of, the love that is bigger, that field that is big enough to hold us in whatever else we may be feeling. All the emotions are okay. All the sensations are okay, because love is bigger and is holding us, caring for us, and nurturing us, and guiding us in every moment. So just giving thanks for that, opening our minds now, opening our inner ears to hear the message that Reverend Amani is going to offer, and then to transition into a sound vibration journey into our inward sanctuary. I'm so grateful for this opportunity to be together, to practice together. And so it is.